I hope that you're having a great day, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that like button. Behind me I have the 2017 BMW M4, and I hope you are as stoked as I am to do this review. So like I've done in the past, I've started with the front and I've moved towards the back, and I'm going to keep that tradition. And so I'm going to start with the headlights, and they just look so aggressive to me. When they're coming down the street, you don't want to mess with this car. And also it does have fully functional air intakes all up in front, and there are intercoolers in there too. You can't see them right now, but those are fully functional. And now I'm going to move into the actual engine bay, and I'll talk to you a little bit about the engine and what power it makes and how much mileage it makes. To open up the hood of this vehicle, you have to pull on this lever right here twice. 1, 2. And that defeats the purpose of having the little lever up in the hood that you have to move around and mess around with, and all you have to do is just pull up on the hood. Under the hood reveals a 3.0 liter inline-6 twin-turbo engine that puts about 425 horses down and 406 pounds-foot of torque, which is astounding for this vehicle. And if you take a little bit closer look at this engine, you can see the carbon fiber, and that's just the icing on the cake right there. It really complements the car, and I love it. And with this engine, you're going to be getting about 17 in the city and 24 on the highway for a 3.0 liter inline-6 twin turbo. That is pretty good, and it weighs about 4,000 pounds, so with the kind of power it has, you know you're going to be moving. This car does run on 93 octane, so don't put anything lower than 93 octane or it will mess up this engine. You don't want to mess around with that kind of stuff because it will mess up the car. Moving on, this car comes with 18-inch rims in the front and back. In the back they are 10-inch in width, and in the front they are 9-inch in width, which means you're going to have more traction in the back and you're not going to lose the tail end that much when you're in full throttle. This car does also have paint protection, so you won't have to worry about this section right here because there's a film over the paint, and they can take it off and add more if you need to. But that's a really cool thing that BMW does, and I think it's just an awesome feature. One of my favorite parts about this car is the exhaust, and you can change the way exhaust sounds. You can open the valves and close the valves, and if you have the valves open, it makes it sound so much more aggressive and so much better than it does with it closed. But if you want to be a good neighbor, just leave those closed and cruise around, and you won't disturb others. But I think the open valve sounds really good. Now I'm going to move you guys into the interior, and I hope you are as mind blown as I am, because this is a one-of-a-kind type interior, and the seats are just, I'll tell you about it. The seats in this car, you're not going to go anywhere. You can tell how much bolstering this has, and when you sit down in it, I'll demonstrate. It hugs you so much, and it makes it so much better of an experience. And knowing that you're not going to be going anywhere in the seat and you're not going to fly around if you're going around a corner or anything, just gives you a peace of mind. These seats do have leg adjustments, so you just pull right forward here. And if you have longer legs, that helps, or if you have shorter legs, that helps. And you can also just throw it right back. Both seats in this car are fully functional, so you can move it forwards, backwards, and you can do all those things with it, and you can have up to 2 people, 2 drivers, set their own adjustments to this car. This car does have a back row, and it is more spacious than you would think, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate how that works and how you get in. With this button right here, you just push forward and the whole seat moves forward. Now when the seat is fully forward, you pull this little lever right here and it shoots the seat forward, and that makes it easy for you to just slip in and pull back. As you can tell, I have plenty of room. I'm not the tallest guy, but I don't have to pull the wide stanced footing. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to do any of that, and I have plenty of headroom. I have about a half a foot of headroom, so I don't have to worry about banging my head up against the roof or anything, which is pretty cool for a coupe. If you are a passenger in the back, you're not missing out on any of the features because you have the Harman Kardon sound system back here, and you're not missing any of the luxuries up in the front, so you are still in full leather seating and stitched, very nice. And you also have your own AC control, hot or cold, up and down, and how much air you get, of course. And then you also have cup holders back here, which are decent sized, nothing big. You also have a 12 volt that you can use back here, which as a passenger, if you are sitting in the back and you want to charge your phone or anything, it's ease of use. You don't have to plug a cable all the way up at the front and run it all the way back. You just have that ease of use 12-volt. So next I'm going to jump up to the front and I'm going to show you guys all the different little features that it has, and just, it's beautiful, you know. This car, they put so much thinking into this car, and just the way that it's designed, it's beautiful, and I'm ready to tell you guys about it. Okay guys, so I hope you're excited as me for this part. This is probably my favorite part of the video, and I hope it is yours too, other than the exhaust, because the exhaust is just one of the best features of this car, and it makes this car. So when you sit down in this car, you are welcome to a beautiful steering wheel that has notches at 10 and 2, so when you're driving aggressively, you don't have to worry about your hands slipping or anything. And it is stitched in blue and red, which just complements the steering wheel in an elegant way that you know that you're in an M4 when you're driving this car. This car does have cruise control, it has all of those little features, but I want to tell you guys about the different modes of driving that you can put this car in and how cool those are. But first, I want to tell you guys about the gauge cluster, and right here you can tell this is a German vehicle, and it is meant for speed. And it is an everyday driver, but you can just rip this thing if you want. Now, I'm going to start her up, and I'm going to show you guys how the gauge cluster works, and just give you guys a little taste. You're greeted with this colorful lights, kind of like a Christmas tree, but it looks so elegant and easy to use. And I'll tell you guys more about this over here. These are some really cool features. These are your parking sensors right here if you want those. This is the steering, different driving modes. So you can push the steering and it switches into Sport Plus, Sport, or Comfort. And that's really cool, because if you just want to be driving around and you don't want to be messing around with the steering wheel too much, you can have it in Comfort. But if you want to have that full engaged mode, you put her into Sport Plus, and it's super simple to use, and I like it a lot. This car, you can also change the suspension in it. You can loosen it up and you can tighten her up. So if you go back to the gauge cluster, it tells you that it is in Sport Plus. You can put it in Sport and Comfort, just like the steering wheel. If you move up to this button right here, this button controls your driving mode in regards to the engine. So if you push this button here, up here on the gauge cluster, it'll show you that you are changing from Efficient, Sport, and Sport Plus. So what that does is each time you go up to another level, it revs up the engine further in the RPMs, which makes the car faster and more aggressive. And if you look up here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on screen, but you can see, yes you can, I love that, right there. You can see the heads-up display, and that is futuristic. And I mean, that's a jaw dropper right there. That is amazing. If you look at the steering wheel, you will also see the 7-speed manual paddle shifters, which are really awesome. When you are going down a street or a mountain road or anything like that, these puppies right here definitely work. Yeah, the start-stop engine, so you don't have to mess around with the key when you get in this car. You just press the brake and then you press start, and it just goes for you. And this car does also have the automatic shut-off. So right here, that means that when you come to a red light or a complete stop, if you have that on, or off I should say, your car, the engine will completely shut off to save your gas and also your money. You also get a fully functional touchscreen in this vehicle, which is very wide. It's not that large, but it is wide, and you can use that. And also, I want to compliment, look at this carbon fiber on the dash, and that is just beautiful. And you also are complementing the car as well here along the column. And over here, you can use this to navigate along with the touchscreen. So if you don't want to be touching up here while you're driving, you can just reach down here and move the screen along with. Now, continuing with the column, you have media, radio, menu, all of these different things, and this is what continues up here at the touchscreen, which I think is amazing in this car. This also does have your comforts of an everyday vehicle, which is your AC, and you have auto, and it just, I mean, it's, both passengers can use it and change their temperatures to themselves. So that means that if you are the driver and you want to be cooler, you don't have to worry about the passenger, which wants to be hotter. This car does also have automatic lights, and you don't have to do anything with that. It just does it for you when you are driving, and I think that's a pretty cool feature. And before I forget, I just want to mention that this car does have heated seats, and it does have heated necks. So if you look up here, these right here are vents, which blows warm air on your neck. So if it is winter or cold, you can press that button and you can be warmed throughout the entire day. And this button right here is the convertible button. So I will show you guys how this works and what it does. Moving on to the trunk of this vehicle. So when the top is actually down and you lift up the trunk, you don't have much room down here, but you do have some room. And on either side, you do not want to place anything on those sides because it will mess up the hardtop and it will mess up anything that you put there. So don't put a laptop computer or chips or anything like that. Don't put groceries on those sides if you put the top down. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how the top goes up, and I'll show you how much room it actually has when the top is up. The top is up, you do have plenty of space to put anything you want. If you want to put a golf bag in here with some clubs, you can do that. You can fit plenty of stuff back here when the top is up. And I really like that about this coupe. I saved this part for towards the very end because I am super excited to tell you guys about this. This car makes 0 to 60 time in 3.9 seconds. If you want to, you can go rewind and see that it is 3.9 seconds. You can go to Google if you want, but if you just want to trust me on my word on it, you can. This car is fast. And shout out to Zach Bowman and his family. I'll put his link to his Instagram in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, just go check out my other videos.